Listen. The Stray game released on July 19th for around $30, and the entire story is about 3 hours long if you take your time like I did.
Where are my testicles, Summer?
Now, you might be thinking I was robbed.
In the bag!
And for the more devious of you, you might even leave a comment saying you're an African prince whose gold is stuck behind a paywall and needs 2K from me, but Stray, in all honesty, might be one of the best stories told in the last decade. It's Walking Dead Season 1 good, and even though it's taken so long for me to release The Walking Dead on crack that the Ukraine war might even finish before the video comes out, part of the reason it's taken so long is because I wanted to do the Stray game first. He plays a fucking cat, alright? Not a super macho JoJo character cosplaying as a degenerate, furry, excuse me. Didn't mean to disrespect degenerates like...
What the hell is even that?
But as a regular cat. You can scratch, you can jump high, you got a separate meow button, try to figure out where your balls went, you're just a cat. And it is glorious. Subscribe and hit the bell if you do enjoy, you won't miss out on future content, and it helps out the channel a ton. So join me as we proceed to snort crack off a feline hooker's ass as we start the Stray game on crack. The game starts in the sewer they found Saddam Hussein hiding in, and there's no prompt, so we get to explore our 3 feline friends and name each one. We rim the first cat, just stick our entire tongue in there looking for that E. coli infection, and resist every stereotypical inclination in my body, and name him James Charles. The next cat whacks me so hard I stop, drop, and roll like I was set on fire, so we'll call him Mike Tyson. The next cat starts kissing me soon after meeting, so I'm just gonna call her Brittany Renner. They get mad that I'm stalling the orgy, so I relent and we get the night started. Next morning, the other 2 cats jump off the cliff like a stockbroker in 1929. Never mind, it's a small drop. But inside the wall, our first zone is pretty much just the tutorial, where you meow, explore, jump, and just learn the controls. It's kind of like Elden Ring in a way, where the game is like, figure it out yourself, bitch, I'm not your dad. Although there are prompts, so it's not exactly that, but you get it. We get to a pipe that looks about as well maintained as a Flint, Michigan irrigation system, and I'm like, guys, I don't know about this. But they say no balls pussy, so I have no choice but to jump. Oh shit, should have laid off the chocolate catnip. What are you guys staring at? Help me! Help! We drop in a sewer and our leg is crippled, so after walking around a bit, I pass out, and apparently the power of friendship is the only thing that kept me from dying, as a door opens for us as our only way out. After licking my leg a little, I'm good to go. Gotta keep the cartoon logic consistent, am I right? 2 licks and you automatically fix a broken femur or some shit. Dead City is the first real zone, and the camera keeps nodding after I meow, and suspiciously lighted neon signs illuminating the way. What's next? A white van giving out free candy? I don't trust this shit. Hello, good sir. Would you mind if I stuck my testicles in your oral cavity? Don't get mad, Apex Legends, it was consented. After jumping through an average post Taco Bell shit session and some conspicuous signs, we get to a fan, which we stop and decide to drop all the paint buckets, cause fuck them. One of the paint buckets breaks a window and I escape the scene of my crime until we get to, oh my pussy lips. What are these hops? My man's getting airtime, he's playing for the wrong Bobcats. After our parkouring, we get to a bunch of Invader Zim characters who are looking at me with more disgust and neckbeards than showers. So I get out of there. But these fucks are coming from the rooftops, the trees. I'm fighting the robot version of the Vietnamese. I jump through a window and barely make it out there with my balls intact, so that's one win for the cats, I guess. We walk into a room with a huge computer, assert our dominance, and proceed to communicate with the computer with such pure phonetic mastery that the computer was shocked at my intellectual ability being less than that of a preschooler's before telling me that a body is required for download, which I translated as a message to send nudes. After sending my gaping asshole spread eagle, the door opens for me where I solve a puzzle of finding and attaching 4 batteries. A secret passageway straight out of a Sherlock Holmes film opens up, and we get the cat to drop a box and an object. We power up the Wall-E horseless headsman robot who tells us My Hero Academia is his favorite anime, so we take it upon ourselves our civic duty to remove one more predator off the streets. Wall-E tells us his name is B12 and gives us a key to use to escape and gives us some drip. Careful B12, I might just flood this apartment if you're not careful. This cat then drags itself across the room like Stanley in South Park when he got the TCLR subscriber-induced testicle upgrade. But after getting used to it, B12 gives us a rundown of the basic controls like inventory, flashlight, etc. And apparently he thinks we need to fix that elevator, which, okay, it makes sense, I guess. A giant-ass elevator would intrigue me too. So we travel down the Garfield mobile and we get the first of 5 key memories for B12. We need to find these memories since Wall-E's got enough amnesia to be a main character in Maze Runner, and you can also find 10 or so minor memories that do jack all. The next area is the the slums. This should be fun. Some Commodore 64 headpiece sounds the alarm the second we approach, which is disturbing, but it is a safer situation for me than China during the Great Leap Forward, so there's that. We got Master Yoshi from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after going on a diet as the messenger, and we tell him, no, I won't eat anybody. Apparently those little Invader Zim characters are known as Zerk, and they eat everything. It's Nikocado if he was 2 feet tall and had half the appetite. Before we continue, I found exclusive footage of 2 Civ Lifer subscribers duking it out. As you can see here, when these two fight, tectonic plates shift, and they even start flying, as you can observe. So subscribe and hit the bell to not only get a chiseled Greek god body and 6 inches where it matters, but 2, more importantly, not miss out on future content. Master Yoshi tells us to go look for the Outsiders, a group of 4 mythical beings who are trying to get to the outside. This guy's dazed off his mind. That is 4 blunts minimum. We meet the first Outsider looking like he's about to take his family to Hawaii, and he talks about how he's pretty much given up hope and all his friends are dead, yeah, and how he's pushed to the edge, yeah. So we go to find the notebooks of all the other 3 Outsiders to try and deduce where they've been off to and try to find a fix to the transceiver to establish communication with the others. We get a paper bag stuck on our head, and as a proud owner of a okay, that came out wrong. As a proud brother of a cat-owning sister, this is exactly how a cat would react. Each Outsider has a YouTube shock, don't call it 3 a.m., cops were called gun sexual thumbnail, so we go to explore each one to find everyone's diary. Clementine's book tells us this place called Midtown is run by an oppressive force, which I'm sure we'll get to know all about later. Zabalzator, hey, why the fuck's my chair floating? His notebook talks about Zerks and how all they do is fuck, breed, and eat, which honestly sounds like the life for me. I was born in the wrong species, I guess, shaking my damn head. After spending literally 14 minutes trying to find a way out of the apartment, yeah, great help B12, I realized we have to scratch down a window springy thing, get an energy drink for my troubles, and get to the last Outsider, Doc's house, where after finding a key, we discover a hidden safe with Doc's notebooks and descriptions of how to build an anti-Zerkinator or something Doofenshmirtz would say. After giving the note to Doc, he fixes the transceiver and says, alright cat, you're up. Really simple job, you just have to climb the tower, avoid the hordes of Zerks along the way, place the transceiver, and come back all without dying. And so me and Wally are off to the rooftops. The Zerks are out in numbers, but I've gotten used to them and absolutely shatter their ankles, had them slipping like we were at Calypso Water Park. Second core memory is everyone putting up neon signs everywhere in some sort of Diwali Arab Spring, so that's nice. First death, had no idea what I was doing, and they all dogpiled on me like non-neutered dogs. It actually looks kinda peaceful, like getting suffocated by some thick thighs. 10 out of 10 would suffocate again. Second time around and I barrel roll my way through and we get to the pathway leading up to the tower. After a few more Zerk battles and hitting a switch, the elevator comes down, but my current objective is survival as I get jumped by the gang of Zerks. At this point it's child's play, however, as I make my way back to the elevator, give out my signature look of superiority, spit in their faces, and me and B12 place the transceiver, illuminating the whole radio tower. Okay, apparently my dumbassery has evolved, and this is the second core memory where B12 realizes the city was made to keep people in from apocalyptic shenanigans going on outside. But since I came from there, then everything should be back to normal, and we find his promise was to open up the entire city to the outside. And then we get on the most satisfying elevator ride I had to cut short because time, and also because this is only something you'd want to see on Pornhub TV. In the slums part 2, we get a note from Doc telling us he's at the bar cause they have internet. We connect to Zlabater, I still can't say that properly, but the connection is shitty and he sounds like a Minecraft villager. We get the general gist of it, and we have to go through the sewer, which is impossible. A kid tells us just that, and apparently he's Doc's son, the guy who went missing, and so we see if we can enlist his help in both finding his lost dad and in getting a weapon for the sewers. He won't open up, so we do the only logical thing and sneak in through a hole in the wall, and he takes it pretty well. If it was me, no joke at all, I'd be introducing you to my Tommy gun, but hey, this is Europe probably, so no guns. We tear down some paintings to assert dominance to the bitch boy and find a number pad and a code. Time will tell. We check the clock, punch in the code, and get into Doc's torture chamber. We find Doc's tracker in the lab and his plans on a secret Zerk killer, so we go to track down Papa Bitch Boy. But first, we need to fix the tracker, which requires a whole slew of Fallout New Vegas style quests. We have to go to a guy with computers who's feeling a little chilly, so we go to Granny to knit a sweater, but she wants wires for some reason, which apparently living in an underground bunker does that to your mental health more than I previously thought. The guy selling cables wants laundry detergent for some reason, and the laundromat won't let us in. We go to the rooftops where dudes are throwing paint and hand.
Your mama got caught giving up neck in the bathroom at the Woodcrest Country Club and it wasn't your daddy.
We slither in, get our hair all over the place cause fuck the ops, before stealing the detergent and unfurling this coil of missions to get the tracker. We start tracking Doc with Bitch Boy until he bitches out, surprising I know, and we have to do it alone, but he gives us a badge Doc will recognize. Dead End is next, and I prove that Zerks have glass made of ankles or ankles made of glass, whatever that shatters easily, before we jump pipes over a cum-gone bad dumpster and start riding a lethal weapon which ends up crash landing. We follow the cables and meet Doc, who wishes he could go home, and so we help prepare his mini lantern or whatever the fuck that is, powering up the generator outside. We power up the Zerkinator for Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and Perry the Platypus sends his goons after us. Doofendaddy always keeps that thing on him though, and he shows us why he wasn't allowed to have a gun in Phineas and Ferb. He attaches the weapon to B12, and this is the advantage we need as we blast these Zerks to infinity and beyond. We get back home and everyone congratulating Duck, but Master Yoshi knows who the real hero of this story was. Anyways, time for the sewers. Benzo tells us he's locking up, so you can't go back, you haven't finished any side quests you like, but we say fuck him and make our way with Momo to the sewers. These big cum droplets that drop Invader Zim scare the shit out of me, but it's just a skill diff at this point, get good scrubs. The bridge is broken, so Duck has to manually hold it up for us and tells us to look for another way. So we go in without him, and instead of fighting every droplet, I just blitz through because I'm not risking that shit. We get to another door and open one lock, but red eyes come out of nowhere like a fucking Friday movie, spawning Zerks to come after us, and we have to make it all the way to the other side before escaping by the hair of our gluteus maximus. We get a cutscene where we're surrounded by the ops. They really caught us with our pants down, nipples out, lactating a little bit. The B12 never leaves without the strap, but unfortunately it malfunctions, so we have to save him and channel Kyrie Irving again as we swerve past defenders and make it just in time for the gate to close. Our boy E.T. is also okay and thanks us for saving his life. We get to the magic treehouse where B12 comes to a realization. He was the scientist who created the robot, which was himself, and it's his job to make it to the surface, even though the people he wanted to do it for are long gone. We get to Balmanzar, or whatever the fuck this Harry Potter spellcaster's name is, who tells us to seek out Clementine and says the most badass line all game. Dear God, the heat, the heat. My CPU can't handle it. We climb and make our way through the giant's fleshlight before making it to the subway, which can take us anywhere. B12 gets his penultimate memory as he tries to figure out what happened to all the humans. Hey Babushka, do you know this woman? Well, alright then, could have gotten more info asking a used Klondike bar, but thanks. We asked the latest victim of police brutality, since apparently he didn't get the memo that schools are safe havens from cops now, but he does tell us Clementine is in the residence, so we go after her. Making our way through Cyber City, which has everything you can think of for a robot utopia, crack addicts illuminating shops, a Middle Eastern dictatorial regime, it's great. We make our way to Clementine's home using the address provided, and she comes at us with a lamp. Well, thank goodness you realized at the last second, else we would have been smoked. We get to Clementine's lab where she tells us to have a look for a dude with a gold chain and a bomber jacket to get into a factory, steal a battery, and use it to power the subway. We can trust the informant since he's the last person to be a narc for the cops, what with his gold chain, cop repellent, and all that. Blazer asks us to get him a hard hat and jacket since his lazy ass doesn't want to, and I say the hard hat, but the shop owner shoos me away. We overhear a coworker telling us his partner is getting drunk and listening to Juice WRLD, so we quickly bolt to the bar before it's too late and drop some bottles on his head. We hide in a box. Apparently the robots don't get paid enough to keep out the cats, and we grab the hard hat. The jacket was easier, you just walk in and grab it. It was even easier than Germany walking through Belgium, I'm sure. We give Blazer the drip and he gets us in a small box, and we're off on that James Bond shit. Cue the Pink Panther. Next puzzle took me a couple minutes, but you're supposed to ask the sentient refrigerator for a boost to get the second sentient refrigerator, and with the barrel you step on all the panels on the ground. We grab the battery, Mr. Krabs goes into full lockdown, and I realize I laid hands on the secret formula, so I needed to get out quickly. Good thing the Catmobile's on standby. Clementine's apartment's under inspection, so we can assume somebody narked. And let me just say they got Curry leading their robo-counter-terrorism units, cause these fucks don't miss. Second time around we get to Clementine's apartment where she leaves a secret message, and I get my 4 chromosomes to commence deduction skills at 100% capacity. Under every object there's a note, and the notes come together in order to say, I'm with Blazer, come to the strip club. And B12 also gives me the rank of lieutenant, which, not gonna lie, that makes me pretty happy. I get caught by a robot, but everyone knows the biggest counter to Steph is Kyrie, so I proceed to shatter his ankles and bring back 2016 flashbacks. The bouncer isn't letting me in to see those sweet robot milkers. Oilers? Doesn't matter. A man lustful is a man committed, I say, and so we go back around the back where a drunk lets us in through the window. The strip strip club seems to be of the Catholic variety, so orange juice and modest dress is all I have, so I knock over some glasses in protest. Is that Doc's son? He is of that age, of course, but he looks pretty disappointed, probably the lack of mommy Oilers. We find Blazer up high, so we engage in some shenanigans, get a ride up, and make our way to Blazer through comically simple puzzles. We move to his location, but it's a trap. Clementine's capture, and that's when it hit me. They gave Blazer the Wendy's 4-for-4 cheeseburger combo, and he told everything. Then the Sentinel authorities catch us as I thank God I'm not black and get to keep my life. They put me in a cage over a cum dumpster, but I'm able to jerk my way free, no pun intended. Afterwards, I jerk off until I realize I have no balls and proceed to look for the others. I find Clementine, get her ass free, and we make our way to the exit. God damn it, they should have realized it wasn't a normal cat they were messing with. It was Lieutenant Pussycat. Before we continue with the third-rate jokes by a second-rate comedian, I just want to say I love how they put the attention to detail. Without B12, there's no way I can communicate, and the writers knew that, so I have to pay attention to Clementine's actions. Anyways, as we prepare to get away, I see where they're holding B12 with tight security as I think, my God, I can't make it through that. And then I realize, God damn it, I'm Lieutenant Pussycat, and no man left behind on my watch. Booby traps are everywhere, but I stealthily make my way through, turn off the security before snatching up B12 as I carry him to safety. He subsequently thanks me as we reinforce the bond of friendship, nay brotherhood, and make our way. The next two levels are hard. I have to intentionally attract the Steph bots and lock them in a cell with B12 to get past them, and it took me a couple tries, but I'm able to do the first one, and then I have to trap two at a single time. Fuck. After locking them in and Fortnite dancing over their dead bodies, we get to the exit. We find a rinky-dink mobile I've only seen in India for some reason, and we get Clementine to drive, hop over the fence, open the door, and we make a mad dash as we barely make it back to the car, and Clementine drives off in the preview of Fast and Furious 15. In this one, they're the ones who are gonna stop Thanos, yes. Clementine tells us to leave her behind to distract the guards as she gives this tearjerker. I fix the subway with B12 and we make our way. We get to a white room, so you know the ending is near, and the robot tells us to fuck off to engineering before T-posing on us, which almost made me lose my cool, but we work together with B12 to open the human-only door somehow, and we get B12's final memory. As B12 works on hacking, I skillfully open the computers, but now we have to open 3 locks, and everyone who's played this game before knows, damn, it's time. The view of the city made me come, by the way. I just wanted everyone to know about that. The first system fries B12, but he keeps going and says he's okay like the trooper he is. Second system, bam! Now he's flashing red, but we gotta keep doing it. Robots depend on it, but humanity in a sort of indirect way. And I think we all know what happened with the third lock. He can't move, so I carry him over to the control panel. And finally, Lieutenant Pussycat makes his way to where, Lieutenant? Home. And that's the game. Hope y'all enjoyed. I do recommend this game. I loved it. It's $30 and it does have some replayability. Leave a like and subscribe if you do enjoy, and click this video in the upper right corner for more. Peace.